All right, we are live. Welcome back to the Moments Trouble 2 Experience Show. I know there's a little fan in the background. Hope you can hear me very well. This is LaVon Howard, the host again. But now we have our guest here today. This guest is a legacy building strategist. She is the founder of 3 companies. She is the founder of Renovations Construction Lead Company, Legacy Business Management Consultant LLC, and the CEO founder of R&C Legacies Incorporated. She is a go-getter. She is a go-getter. She is a resilient, very overcomer, a champion for her community, and definitely a problem solver. So let's welcome Ms. Camille Pearsall. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, LaVon. Thanks so much for having me on your platform.
Yes, it's been months in the making. We talked about it. We did months ago. So
yes. So I was like, I don't even remember we talked about it in the summer.
Yeah, because
accept the live request.
I got it. Yep, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, because it's been a long time, and a lot happened this summer. I'm toy with God. I'm toy with God. So it's been.
I know we're going to do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, so it's been a journey, but we made it for God's grace and mercy. We hit it in the summer, so I'm going to ask you, how was your week?
My week was wonderful. I have absolutely no complaints. There's so many times that we get caught up in the little things that go wrong or not perfect or according to plan. But there is no plan. And as soon as we start living outside of the space of it has to be perfect, just as I planned, that we can have so much more enjoyment and fulfillment in life.
Exactly. So how was your summer?
My summer was beautiful, awesome, and everything spectacular. I did a lot of traveling. I still got a lot of work done, but I did a lot of traveling. I definitely took the whole month of August for myself to do some just reflection and some enjoyment. So many times we hustle, and that is in our culture that we live in right now. It's the hustle and grind culture.
Yes. Yeah.
But we forget us. We forget what's important to us. If we're not maintaining our happiness, why are we going so hard? If we're not maintaining our health, why are we doing so hard? These are the things. It's like, okay, rest at the end, but you have to take short spurts of time to enjoy life through your journey. So that's what I did for August, and it was wonderful.
Right, taking time to rest and replenish, and also that's okay to do that.
Exactly. So many people forget and think, like, I gotta keep going.
True. That's a lot of times we don't do it. It's so hard trying to stay busy. Then like once you take time off, you're like, oh, I gotta do something again. That's so many times. So that's something. My song has been crazy. Just picking up the pieces, starting over. It was a lot this summer, but a lot of growth in the what I had to do for myself to become a better individual. So that's why it's important that I know you're talking about legacy, about building that legacy, how you pick yourself up after a fall, after a failure. You know what I mean? So that's something I did this summer because it's one of the most unique summers I've endured in my life. But I'm still here, still standing. So let's get back to you. So who was Camille Pearsall when she was younger?
When Camille was younger, I have to say, it was very much still who I am. Very relentless, a problem solver. Was the puppy song, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down? That was always my personality.
Right.
No matter what's going on, it's not going to stop me. It might hurt my feelings a little bit, but it's not going to stop me. I'm going to always have something deep in me that allowed me to persevere and push through whatever might be possibly going wrong. And also to give aid and assistance to my friends and people in my community.
Wow.
You good?
I'm good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Make sure I can see.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Okay. So you said you overcame a lot. So what was your journey like in high school and going to college? You've been to college, like that.
So my high school journey was a little different. I went through elementary and middle school. I went to Catholic school my entire life. high school, I said, okay, I'm going to try public school now. I went to Mass Mom. I did here since probably I was 10. So I went to Mass Mom for cosmetology. And, you know, great program, great system, but it was not for me.
Okay.
I understood it was not for me, but my family was not in a position to put me back in capital to go private school. So it was like, okay, Camille, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to let your circumstances stop you, or are you going to do what's needed? And I figured out what was needed. I went to private school. I applied for $1 million scholarships, and I think I had to come up with around $5,000 for the rest of the year. I worked every day after school. My husband, he assisted in paying for my high school, and I went to a private high school where I completed 2 years in life.
Okay.
Yeah, so I graduated a year early. I graduated at the top of my class. Yeah,
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So, oh wow, congratulations on that. That's a big deal. So, did you go to college afterwards, or what was it?
So I did, because that's what everybody says you have to do, Camille. You have to go to college.
Right.
You know, that's what you're supposed to do. You're a super smart young lady. You have to go to college. I did not believe in spending a lot of money at a university. We have one of the best community college systems here in the nation.
Right.
So I enrolled in community. I think I did the first semester, and I was in a nursing program because they had a really great nursing program, and I was going to transfer to Drexel.
Right.
And I had a conversation with myself, and I said, this is not the life that I want to live.
Wow.
I was not happy at all, and I was living in someone else's dream, and what society said I must do. Mainstream society said, this is what you must do to become successful. But I knew it wasn't for me. I don't like bodily fluids. Why am I going to school to be a nurse? This doesn't make any type of sense. I don't want to touch my stuff, let alone somebody else's. So I took a step back, and I said, you know, this isn't for me. I'm the one that's paying for this. I'm the one signing for this, and this is the life that I have to live. I'm going to make this decision for me.
Right.
Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I made a decision, and I left community. I didn't go back. For the end of the year, I ended up going to New York City. I commuted. I was there for like 4 days a week. I did hair and makeup in New York, and I loved it. So I've always had that entrepreneur spirit in me.
Right.
Always in me, but it took for a matter of recognizing that it's okay to go against mainstream society and what mainstream is telling me to do. That the only way to become successful is to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And I took a lot of, I did a lot of things over years. I had a lot of jobs, but it all landed me back in the real estate and construction realm.
Okay. So, what was that conversation with your family after you decided to leave CCP? Community college.
Yeah, but it was CCP.
Oh, okay.
The conversation was, I'm not going back. But at that point, you know, I might have skipped a couple of chapters in my life. At that point, I already lived on my own. At that point, I already lived on my own. I was 100% independent. So it wasn't really anything that somebody could tell me to do. It was just more of me just, you know, taking in what people's advice was, and they said, but nobody was happy, and, you know, people told me I was going to fail, I wasn't going to be successful, and these are people whose blood goes through my veins. You're not going to be successful, or you're going to end up, you know, back home. You're going to end up living back in North Philly. At this time, I lived in West Mount Erie.
Okay.
West Mount Erie. You're going to end up living back in North Philly. And, you know, they told me all just the bad things. And then I got pregnant. I was only 17 at this point. So then it was, you're definitely going to be it's going to be a disaster. Your life is going to be a disaster. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to be a homeowner. You're not going to be able to have, you know, good credit. They told me all the things that I could not do because I went against mainstream society, and now I'm pregnant.
Wow.
So, and that was 17-year-old Camille. 21 years later, I think all those people are eating those words.
Exactly. So you decided to bet on yourself.
Correct.
So, and you go against the grain, just now look how you turned out to be. Exactly. That's all important. So tell me about these businesses you have. So you have 3 businesses that you started. So
yeah.
So can you give me a gist of how each one got started? So let's go with the Stoners Renovations Construction and Lead Company. How that came about?
That company, Stoner Renovations, that was my late husband's company.
Oh.
He was a general contractor. He was a victim of gun violence in 2020, in the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So So that was his baby. He cultivated that business, and I supported him through it. I had complete understanding and insight of the construction business because I was raised on a construction site. My father was a single father, and he was a general contractor. So that's all I knew was construction. So after my husband's transition, it was like, okay, I had this business, and I got hit with, we had purchased a property, and I got hit with a repair demolish decree one year. And I was in a really, really dark, hurt place. But it was like, okay, what do I have to do? I have to fix this error that's going on. At that point, it pushed me to put on my general contractor hat. I revamped his business, made it my own, made it suit who I am as a person, as an individual. And it's flourishing right now. It's literally flourishing. I do renovations. I don't really do too much. I don't do small things. I do custom kitchens, bathrooms, turn basements into living spaces. I also do full rehabs as well. And that kind of went into my real estate business, where I'm the main contractor for my own real estate company, which is R&C Legacies.
Okay.
Yeah. So R&C Legacies, that's my holding company. We own right now 20 properties. Actually, one right literally at the corner of this block.
What? Wow. Okay.
I didn't even realize where I was going. I'm following the GPS. I'm like, one of my properties, and it's literally right there at the corner.
Okay. Yeah. So, Keith, because you do real estate, and I have a couple questions about that. So, what is the process of someone getting a property and getting an opportunity to revamp it? How does that process work?
So that process has many different facades to it. It depends on what's always something. You have to find out identify who you are, what your end goal is, and then you can pretty much, determine what you want to do. But as a caveat, to make it, kind of short, you have to find funding, number one. You have to find funding, because how are you going to pay for this property, and how are you going to pay for the rehab of this property? So funding is key. Your credit score is very, very, very important. If you don't have a good credit score, then that's when relationships come in. Oftentimes, you'll hear me say that real estate is relationship-based.
Okay.
And let's say you have a poor credit score, then you could pull somebody in who you have a good business relationship with, they trust you in business. They might have the credit score. They might have the down payment money. So it doesn't always have to just be you. Where somebody thinks, I have to have this 750 credit score, I have to have $50,000, so you have to have all these things. It's not about that. It's about who's in your community, who's in your network. We build wealth through our network and the relationships that we have.
Right.
So once you identify your funding source, then you identify a property. You have to do a good analysis of the property, knowing what is your end goal. Whether your end goal is to sell this property or to hold and make it a rental, like the one I have in the corner. That's something I held and I made it a rental. It's two different usually type of renovations that you're doing to it. If it's something that you're holding and want to make a rental, if it's a grandma house, you might not have to do everything to it. A grandma house means a house that's older, is a little dated. But depending on the neighborhood that you're going to be renting this property in, you could do some light touches, painting, update the floors, make sure all windows are operable, make sure all mechanics, that's your heating, air, electric, are safe and operable. And you could place a tenant in there without spending tons and tons of money. If you're going to sell this property, you normally have to put a little bit more into your renovation, but you'll get a larger profit up front. So those are some of just the basics to do it, but you have to really look at and decide who you are as a person and what is your final goal that you would like to get outcome of.
So when you do the renovations and for the building, do you have a team that does that, or I know it's not just you doing everything?
No. So, and that's where so many times we get lost in things that we're doing because we think it has to be just us. Everything relies on us. That's so far from the case. If you look at any successful business, there's a team under whoever is the face of that company. There's a team. So I have a team that I strongly depend on, and we communicate with each other. Communication is always key. I outline my goals and my objectives and my timeline and how I expect things to be done, my expectations. It's your team's job to follow these things. But as the leader of your team, you have to make sure that you're making it clear, concise, and understandable to who you're speaking to. Otherwise, your business will plummet and nobody will be blamed but the face of that business. They don't look at the team. So when you're building your team structure, you have to make sure that you understand who's on that team. One person might not be super great in that area. That's fine. Lean on them in areas where they're great and don't lean on them in areas where they're not great in, because then that's setting yourself up for heartbreak and anger and failure and all of those not positive and great words. But if you identify who's on the team and their weak points, then you find somebody else who's strong in those areas. These are important systems that we put in place as we're building our teams and as we're scaling to the next level.
Right, I think that I agree with you about the team aspects and having people that put them where their strengths at, and then do well at. And I totally agree with that. And it's so important because that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to have greatest put people on my team that are good at what they do. So I have to do that. I will have to do everything by myself. I can just put them where their strength is. Correct. You know what I mean? So, because at the end of the day, they get more fulfillment and joy about doing what they love to do. And I don't have to worry about struggling myself because they're doing what they want to do and they're in the flow and doing it well. So
exactly. And then that allows you to also build them up and their character and their strengths, and you make them feel great about themselves. They're now happy to come to work for you. They're happy to be a part of your team. And what that gives you is a larger team because other people are going to recognize their life, and then they're going to gravitate to that person, which ultimately is bringing them to you and your business.
Exactly. So you said also you do the legacy part. So you do consulting. So what's that look like in detail?
It looks exactly like what we just did. How I just even spoke to you in reference to building your team, building the structure. How I would speak to somebody and guide them through the construction process, through the rehab process, through even buying a house, identifying what makes sense for them on paper. Some people might have an idea. Some people have an inheritance, and they say, I want to be in real estate. But they don't really know what that means. I want to be in real estate. It's a million things that you could do and say, I'm in real estate. So what I do, I come in, I learn who that person is and help identify their strengths and as well as their weaknesses and decide on what they want to do. Legacy builders, our mantra is to define, create, maintain, and transfer wealth. First thing we have to do is define what wealth means to you. What wealth means to me, it might not be what it means to you or the next person. Some people look at wealth just as money. Some other people look at it as assets. Some people look at it as great health. Some people look at it as community participation and involvement. For me, my vision of wealth encompasses all of them. So when I work with my clients as a consultant, the first thing is to define what it means to them. Once we define what wealth means to them and what they're trying to achieve, then it's like, okay, we go back to the drawing board and we create it. Literally, we go through the process of birthing a baby. The creation of their means to that wealth is like birthing a baby. So we go through that. And once that baby is here, it's like, okay, we got it. We have developed your business. We understand what you want. We clearly identified it. Then we developed it. It's here. Now what? We maintain it. We maintain it. So now it's making money and it's flourishing. And once we do that and we take it to the next step where we make it transferable. Okay. No business is good if it's not transferable. So many times we think, oh, I'm going to pass it on to my kids. Well, your kids might not want it. Right. But they will need the proceeds of that business. So we want to make sure that business can be sold. And a company will want to buy it. That's one of the main things. Whatever it is, for me, I have 20 properties. Wow. They're all maintained to where I can put it on the market at any given time. Somebody's going to buy that property. That's my transference of wealth. So if my kids say, I don't want to do anything with real estate at all, it's okay. It's okay, right. Okay, just sell it. I'm not that parent that's going to say, oh, no, don't sell anything. Sell it. Or you can set it up in a trust and, your children, whoever you want to transfer this wealth to, if you don't want it sold, but they don't want to be bothered with it, then you set up in a trust and you have a trustee running. And their wealth is still transferred to your children because now they're getting paid off of it. Of course, they're not going to get paid as much as if they were doing it because that trustee has to get paid, but it still will assist in them. If you leave a portfolio of, let's just for example, 20 properties ran correctly, set up with great systems, that can help take care of my children's children. It will add to the benefit of their life. It will be so many things that they don't have to worry about doing. Rather, it's just, you know, it's enough to cover their mortgage. That's at least 3 generations from what I'm doing now. So in legacy builders, management, and consultant, that's the main thing that we do, is to help people with wealth. Identify what it is, create it, maintain it, and then make sure it's transferable so it keeps going. Then we also do a lot of community outreach things.
Okay.
That's really, really big. Like I said, for wealth to me encompasses so many things that I spoke on, but it's also about educating our community.
Yes.
Educating our community is not from everybody said generational wealth. I believe in community wealth. I believe in community building, community legacies. I have 2 daughters. I have to keep in mind, who are they marrying? Who are their colleagues been? Who are their friends been? If I only keep the knowledge within my home, then they're left to be out here with who knows what type of people. It's up to us as this generation to reach back into the community and make sure that we're advising, guiding, and trying to light on other children and younger people in our community, because they're the ones that the people within our household will be in association with when they're older.
Right. So, yeah, I agree. It's about community wealth, community building. Because at the end of the day, we need each other. We can't do this. We can't do this thing by ourselves. We can't. We cannot. That's like you can try, but you can't. You need people that are better than you in certain areas to help you do your business better. You know what I mean? It's about growing, evolving, and about leaving that legacy. You know. So you say you have 20 properties, right? Do you have like people overseeing those properties? You know, you can't be there every single day, but maybe just look over and say what's going on, and hey, they might need some repairs. Do you have people overseeing those properties on a daily basis, even though you can't be everywhere?
I don't have people. Well, I'm the people that people have.
I know you have a lot of properties. I'm like, yeah.
So and that's another leg of legacy builders. We also have a leasing department where we offer property management.
Okay.
So I manage my properties as well as other owners' properties.
Okay.
So I'm the person that they call with everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So where do you see this business going? Like, you see a business going in the next maybe 1 to not 3 to 5, I won't say like maybe 1 to 3 years. Where do you see it going?
All right, so let's go business by business. For Stoner Renovations, I definitely see it growing. I'm looking to move into more of the commercial aspect of construction, get away from residential. With smaller residential projects, I'm looking to move towards commercial and higher end residential renovations. For R&C Legacies, right now we are not actively growing our portfolio, but if anybody has a house for sale, call me. If it's a good number, I'll buy it, I promise. But yeah, we're not actively growing that portfolio. It's at a good standstill point. I'm actually going back through my portfolio now, and this is where I saw you spoke on the maintaining part. I purchased a ton of properties. I have 20 properties. So now my goal for that company over the next, I'm really going to say 1 to 3 years, is to go back and put my hands on each and every property to make sure that it's operating at maximum functionality, and I'm collecting my most rent, the highest rents that I can get for that property. So that means going back and doing whatever cosmetic repairs needs to be done, and looking for a new tenant and collecting higher rents. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going for a huge maintenance of my real estate portfolio. For legacy builders, management, and consulting, the next 1 to 3 years is going to be a deep dive into growth and education, where we're really getting into the community and sharing what we have learned thus far, and inviting other people to continue on our journey with us going forward.
Okay, that's good. That's good because I think it's our responsibility to teach the young people that stuff about this stuff, because they may not know. Because when I was growing up, I didn't know about this stuff. So now I'm like, I wish I had learned that in high school or college, or 18 years old, 19 years, like how to. I may not get into it, but at least I have an understanding or be introduced to that concept. It's so important to do that because real estate is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of sacrifice.
It's not easy, and it's not for the weak at heart, the weak in mind. It's not for somebody who's willing to say, you know what, I'm going to withhold this right now so I can build on my dream. People who need immediate gratification, real estate is not your option.
No, it's not.
Don't come here. Yeah. If that's what you're looking for, that immediate gratification. Real estate is not it. I don't care what Google will tell you that if you buy 3 properties and it's going to change your life and you will be a billionaire. No. But what it will do, it will increase your net worth. And if you maintain those assets over time and appreciation, it will absolutely not just change your life, but it will change your children's life and their children's life. But it's not an immediate gratification.
Right.
I probably will never bear the full fruits of my labor of my real estate portfolio. But it'll look really good for my children.
Wow. Do you remember the first property you bought?
Absolutely.
And do you still have it now?
I do. The first property I purchased, my husband and I purchased it. It was a house that my grandma was raised in. And we saved it from share sale. And I wanted this house from the time I was like 15 years old. And my family was like, absolutely not. And it was a mess. It was a lot of that people defeated spirits bearing down on me. And I used that energy to energize me. That negative energy positively energized me to go forward. That property, I knew nothing about real estate when I bought that property. And I am living in that journey of purchasing real estate uneducated. It was not a good thing. It was not a good purchase. So literally, I'm getting ready to do a class on this, like how I effed up my first real estate transaction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. That's probably going to be the name of the class, how I effed up my first real estate transaction. And it was just based on purchasing real estate with a lack of knowledge, a lack of knowing. I could have did small things at that point, small analysis that would have determined this might not be a great purchase. But I was so just gung-ho and happy. Yeah, I did this, I did that. And everybody told me no, I came back and I kicked the door in and I got it. And I had that mentality and that mindset. But now, knowing everything that I know now, 7 years later, it was not a good purchase at all. But I still have it. I still own it. I'm going to spend a lot of money on doing my paperwork correctly because I now know how to do that. And I'm actually going to I'm teaching a whole class on it to make sure that other people don't make this mistake. Anybody when you're listening, one thing I'm going to tell you is invest in knowledge, get guidance, get mentorship through this real estate journey. Because if you don't know, you'll F up your first bill like I did mine.
Okay. So, by the way, you spoke about a class. When is that coming soon, or how people can register for that, or that's in the class?
So, I'm an executive for the Better Than Success Real Estate League, so I do a lot of classes through there. I do classes independently. That class that I'm particularly speaking of, I'm probably going to team up with the team at Quick Abstract to do that. That's a title company, and that's who we're literally working, coming with a plan to make sure that the issue how I fit that was not a clean title. It's not a clean title, but making sure that I could turn it into a clean title. I can't transfer the wealth. I do own the property outright and I can rent it out. But remember I told you that last part is the transference of wealth.
Right.
I could not transfer that wealth without a completely clean title. So that's what me and the team at Quick Abstract we're going to do. We're going to making that title clean and transferring it. So I'm probably going to merge with them to do this class. But follow me on all social media platforms. Links are always on my bio. I do at least one class per month. I make my classes really, really cheap. And classes and events, I try to make this as cheap as possible. They're not non-profit, but they're not for-profit either. So the links are always on my bio. It's always at least one class or event per month that I offer.
So is that in person or that virtual?
They're in person.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I definitely believe since the world is back open again, that it's important because as adult learners, we don't always receive everything in via the internet. We don't always feel as comfortable in that internet environment to ask some of the questions that some people might label as poor questions or dumb questions because we don't feel the vibe in the room, we don't feel the community in the room. So when we bring people together, we feel like, okay, wait, this is a good space, this is a safe space. Online, it doesn't always represent as that safe space where you can ask these pertinent and necessary questions. But in person it does, so I try to do as many classes in person as possible.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. It's like a connection you'll get when it's virtual.
Exactly.
Getting people's energy, the vibes, and all stuff like that. Plus, it's more space for you. Express things, bond with you more. Build like trust, connection, and then build a rapport with them as you go forward in workshops.
And that's the most important thing, is that connection.
Yes.
I remember I started in the beginning of our interview today, I stated that real estate is based off relationships.
That's right.
You can meet somebody online. I've done a lot of business with people online who I've never met in person, but it took over time to build that rapport, to build that trust. Like, okay, is this a good person? But when you meet somebody in person, normally after the first couple of encounters, you can say, I like this person, I could vibe with this person, this is somebody who I could grow with. So it's important for me also to have these events in person because people were always looking for partners. Every encounter is an interview with how do you want to go forward with this person, like nothing at all, or I could potentially use this person because their strong suits is that, and that's my weak area. So it's important to just build those connections.
That's what, I agree. I definitely agree with you. So I'm going to a couple more questions. So I want to ask a couple more questions when we get out of here, so we can. So like I said, I can tell you do a lot. You do a whole lot. You're an owner, real estate. You're a mom. So you do it. Have a lot hats you wear. So what does Camille do with self-care?
Wait, somebody just said, maybe you got to cut one of the fans off. Somebody just texted me and said they're having difficulty hearing.
Oh, if I try that one, maybe, that might help. Yeah, I figured you hear you now. Yes.
So, all right, hopefully y'all can hear me a little better. In here, like, is no ear, it's a little sweatbox, but okay. We will figure this out real quick. For self-care, I definitely take time out for me. I don't mind that at all. I wouldn't tell people no to whatever it is. I think that's my biggest self-care thing this year, and I went on a healing journey. But my biggest thing is coming up with, not even coming up with, but understanding it's okay to say no.
Ooh, God, no. Yes.
That's the biggest self-care. People say, I get a pedicure, I do this, I get a massage, I go to lunch,
right. Yeah, sure,
that's all cute.
Yeah.
But the ability to say no, I'm not available for that. No, I don't have space in my life for that. No, I don't have the mental capacity to take on your issue. Those are some of that's the biggest self-care thing that I can say I adapted to in 2023 is knowing that it's okay to say no.
I agree with you because it's so important when we try and say no and then worry about people's reaction. That's what I'm struggling with too because I want to say no to things and not a lot of things, but sometimes I want to say no, but I end up saying yes, and then I'm going and I'm not being my best self because I'm kind of forced to be here. So so I don't want to be here. So and sometimes it's okay to say no and stay behind your no because you never know because you need time for yourself. You need time to take care of yourself, replenish, and get yourself back together.
Absolutely. When you first called me, I told you no. I said no, I'm not available until September.
Yeah, and I was patient. I said, okay, it's September then. It's September then. Sometimes life happens. You don't really get. Oh yeah, it's never night. I'm never going to calendar. I was like, yeah. So, but I think it's so important for me. I think this kind of been more of a reset for me
Okay.
in terms of my journey and what I'm supposed to be doing and doing something outside the box different from me that I've been doing the past 4 years. So I'm taking it day by day. I'm taking it slow. I'm trying to navigate my mind, have my peace, and just because what I'm doing now is more responsible than I had in the past 4 years. So I'm trying to do it right and not trying to be the thing that I was before. So that's why I'm so
congratulations to you for that.
Yeah, because some care is definitely important. And I think I'm trying to get to that level of peace and trying to clear my mind and not be so negative, not be that negative thought, but also be in peace and true with myself.
Okay.
So, what advice would you give to your younger Camille Pearsall?
I would tell myself to go harder. To go harder. To sacrifice more. I feel like I sacrificed a lot, but it's always those little small areas where you could have did a little bit more. Maybe I didn't trust myself enough to do it. Maybe I didn't feel like I didn't have the supports to do it. Maybe I was just nervous. Maybe I just didn't feel like it. But go harder. Because where I'm at right now, I feel like I could have been here at this point 10 years ago. If I would have went just a little bit harder. And not harder so much working, but harder on the emotional and the mental work that it took me to cut off some things. I left my job to do what I'm doing now, to live in my dream and in my purpose. I could have did this 10 years ago instead of 2 years ago. It would have gave me a lot of space and time to do other things and to really, really chase what I wanted at that point. So yeah, I would definitely tell myself to go harder and have faith in myself. I think we're having like a connection.
Yes, I think sometimes go harder. You gotta go harder because you'll get one an opportunity to get to do it right and do it the way you want to do it. It means like opportunity to do it and just do it unapologetically.
And is that part unapologetically? Know that it's okay. You don't want anybody apology for putting you first, but for putting your dreams first, your desires first, your wants and your needs first. You don't owe anybody an apology for that. So many times we think we have to do this to please these people. You don't. You don't. And you don't gotta apologize for saying this is about me. It's about me right now.
That's right. So I'm from the student head office space. I don't know, you might have something up here on your wall. What would be the one quote or affirmation that you have on your wall in your office? That maybe you have one there already or that you're going to put up there?
It's okay. It's okay. No matter what we're faced with adversity, what life might throw at us, it's okay. I saw something earlier and it was like, but did you die? No, I didn't. I'm still here. So guess what? I mean, I could fix it. I could work on it. It's okay. As long as you can get up every day, as long as it's an issue that money can solve, meaning it's not like, help, then it's okay. Don't stress about it. We get so caught up in so many things. And it's okay. Just, all right, feel how you need to feel. Of course, things will hurt. I'm probably one of the most sensitive people in the world. But I have to understand and know that it's okay. We are so much stronger than what we can ever imagine. We're able to withstand so many things, physically, mentally, emotionally, what we can imagine, as long as we go into it knowing that you can come out on the other side and it will be okay. Now, I'm not saying this will be easy, but it will be okay.
It's going to be all right. That's all. You keep standing on. Until you use your language, your breath, and your lungs, it's going to be all right.
There you go. If it's an issue that money can solve, listen, don't complain about it. You just got to get out here to get the money to solve it.
That's right. What's next for you? I know you got the class coming up. that you're doing. But what else besides that's next for you?
It's a book coming, y'all. It's really coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. I got hit this morning by just an overwhelming emotion, and I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna take the time out, and I'm gonna do it. I'm going to get my voice finally on paper. There's so many things that needs to be said, needs to be shared. And people told me for years, you got to do a book, and I started it a couple times and just got away from it because I got caught up with life. I got caught up with being a CEO of 3 companies, and it's coming. It's really coming. I'm making some changes to my businesses to allow me to just have more of the space to do the things that I want to do. I've done a lot of what I need to do, so now I'm being set up to be in the space to do what I want to do. So it's some good things coming.
Okay. Where people can find you on more information about your businesses, your class, and also about you personally.
Well, about me personally, I'm a closed book.
Okay.
But as far as business-wise, I'm on all social media platforms, Legacy Builders MC. I'm on Google, everything. The song say Google me. I'm everywhere, Legacy Builders MC, or just Camille Pearsall, and it'll bring you right to me. Just put me right in the search bar.
Okay. And I want to say I applaud you for the work you're doing that's done in the community, trying to help our people be more aware, to be conscious, and also about properties and real estate, because real estate is not an easy subject. It's definitely a work. You have to take time to master, to understand, to get the complexities and the understanding about certain things, contracts and terms and things like that maybe we don't understand every single day. And I applaud you for doing the work that you are doing, and I thank you for that. And I thank you for being a guest on the show, because I know it was a while ago we connected, and I thank you for this conversation, because it's definitely needed to help me out, because I learned some things and learned about how to do things better and take time for yourself, and knowing, and the quote, it's okay. So that's what I might use in my office too. When students come down, it's okay,
Yeah, it's okay.
Right. So I want to thank you for being who you are, and I thank you for your resilience and determination to be successful in spite of what the world wants you to do. You made sure you tread your own path, and I thank you for that. So I appreciate you for that. So I want to thank you for being a guest on the Rolling Sugar Space show. Hopefully, when your book comes out, when you come back, we can talk about the book. Hopefully, it will be less.
Wear some air.
Yeah, fix it a little bit, be a little cooler, a little more condensed. I ain't no Vegas today. I feel real cooler than that. But I thank you for your time. I thank you for the guests that joined the call. We apologize that the fan was the way couldn't hear what we were saying, but hopefully that we got on Facebook Live too. We can hear her entirely. So, all right, but thank you so much. Hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, and also take time for yourself as well. I know it's a lot, but take time for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lauren, for having me and sharing your platform.
Yeah, thank you so much. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And be safe and just enjoy yourself.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.